this position before. What is it like as a player in Boston to have your jersey worn?
Probably one of the biggest privileges you could have. You think about it. I mean, there is. I've said this before. There's Springfield, and the Hall of Fame there. But you look up at the rafters, man. That is the real Hall of Fame. You look about the teams, and the players, and the guys you're with. But this whole Paul Pierce thing right now is overblown, bro. Let me tell you, I ain't feeling it right now. Because I was the last person. I'll always be able to tell Paul for the longest time. I said, Paul, you're a pretty good player, man, but number's not retired. So now I'm going to have to say something different, and it's going to be actually a pleasure, because I got a chance to see Paul, I got a chance to see him play, I got a chance to see him grow as a person, as a man. So it was really very interesting to be around him.
Yeah, what stands out to you from not only him as a player, but like you said, as a person?
I think determination to see him grow, to be a champion. There was one point where Paul Pierce, I think, was more in that vein of being more self-centered about his game and how he played, and then to watch him to become a total team player, to evolve and to be a champion, and yada yada, to be MVP. That's a whole nother thing when I think about Paul Pierce.
And winning a championship aspect of Paul's resume, how important is that if you're a Boston Celtic to win a championship, to be among the greats?
Well, if you have not won a championship in Boston, that is, it's almost a shame. You think about the number of championships that have been here, the guys who played here. I mean, that's just a big deal. Everybody didn't win one, and you've had great players who come through here. But I think that is, to me, that's the period. That's the dot that you get. As great as Antoine Walker was, and he'll probably be here tonight, didn't win the championship. But the dot that Paul Pierce had, I think, solidifies him above most of the other guys.
Cedric, you were a great clutch player. When you watched Paul in that 2008 finals, did you see some of those same qualities?
I saw Paul Pierce wanting a ring. I saw Paul Pierce wanted to validate himself among the greats in this league. And everybody knows Paul Pierce is one of the great players. I mean, I think it was Shaq that gave him the name The Truth. And once Paul Pierce became that, I think he really wanted to be that, The Truth. And it was all about him winning and being that kind of player, trying to win the championship.
Max, when you look at the numbers that are up there, the names that are up there, Russell, Kuzi, Havlicek, all the way through you.
Yeah.
When you go into that building from now on, what will it be like for Paul, too, when you look up and you see a number amongst all those players?
Well, it was real funny. Yesterday, they actually took the numbers down, and I was pointing up to my number. I was like, damn, they took it down. But actually, they took it down and put Paul's number in, and that is it's surreal, because you think about the guys you played against, the great JoJo White, who just passed away. But you talk about Havlicek, who I played with, Bill Russell, one of the greatest players ever to play the game. So when you're among the elite like that, there's something to be said. There's something to be proud about.
A couple of years there where 06, 07, that looked like 5 or 6 or 7, it looked like could have gone a couple ways.
Wait a minute, I'm having somebody to bring me a napkin in. Paul Pierce has made me sweat. Talking about Paul has made me sweat. Thank you.
Say somebody wipe my mouth.
Hey, don't steal no line, won't you?
But there was a time there where it looked like it might not end up like this. That it might have gone. Did you ever talk to Paul about sticking it out? And because I know you both talked to a lot of players over the years about what it would mean to have it work out here.
I got a chance to talk to Paul Pierce about more than that. Not necessarily winning championships, but about life. I mean, there were a couple of times where during the summertime, I remember Paul Pierce. I was riding someplace in the summer. I was in the middle of Georgia, and all of a sudden I get a cell call. My cell phone rings, and it was Paul calling me about something about life. I was like, what are you calling me about? He was like, oh, I just wanted to talk to you, see how you were doing. So we've had that kind of relationship, and I always said, that Paul Pierce is such he's a genuine guy, and for him to win the championship, man, it was just good for him and me. All right? Good.